Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Science RLX Relaxed version. This is so exciting. Once a month, we get the most amazing opportunity to hear from an expert in our product. That's tonight. And I cannot tell you how exciting it is to me to be able to talk to her about RLX. If this is a night that is exciting to you because of this specific product, put that into the chat, because I'm sure she wants to know how many people are excited to hear more about RLX, about Relax. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Julia Flynn Worry. I'm a corporate director with APLGO. I've been with APLGO since about July of 2020 and was introduced to this product, and it has totally changed my life for the better. But then when I got to meet Mary Esther Gilbert, this expert, I was just blown away. All of the things that I had experienced were completely validated by what she has to say. So Mary Esther, please, please, please know how grateful we are that you're here, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored, as always, to be here. I'm so happy to share all this amazing knowledge about the products and what's in them.
Yes, this is absolutely amazing, this topic and your knowledge. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. I understand that you've written over 40 books. Is that correct?
Wow. I wish.
Oh, okay.
I actually have written 6 books and 2 are about to be published.
Oh.
And then I have a few other in the works as well. But if I live long enough, I hope to have written 40 books. That would be great.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Where does your passion for nutrition and this product come from?
You know, when I was a teenager, my father said something to me that just had a real impact. So, and then he told me the stories about my grandfather, his father, who was a medical doctor who had discovered herbal medicines. And so he started treating his patients with nothing but the herbal medicines. And so I think I got that gene, or somehow that stuck with me. So when I went to college, I went for the nutritional degree. But then I realized that the curriculum that they outline in the traditional colleges don't teach you the kind of knowledge that my grandfather knew. So I started seeking out holistic colleges, and I found some. And actually, those colleges were the ones that taught me how to dive into that scientific literature and really gather the facts and just confirm what our ancients have always known, and how they gathered their data and information, recorded that, and saw the causes and effect on how they applied, in their cultures. So all that combined together, just it grew my enthusiasm. And then when I opened my practice back in '79, I started seeing the results. You just nourish the body completely and correctly, and it knows how to fix itself. When you protect how the DNA is preserved, the genetic instructions that run our entire system, that must be protected and preserved. And the way to do that is just to nourish the cells properly. So yeah, that's what kept me going all these years.
That is so exciting to hear you talk about that. And I've heard you talk about it a little bit here and there. And I have read 2 of your books, and they're just amazing. They're big, and they're so jam-packed with amazing information, which I just love. I do have one question. I feel like it's a little on the selfish side, but what is it? You could choose any product line to love and to explore and to share with people, but what is it about this product line, about APLGO's lozenges, that keeps you coming back and has you so excited, enthusiastic, and wanting to share this product?
I love that question because I've only endorsed 3 companies in all the 45 years that I've been doing this. And it was because it was unique, something that I hadn't gathered in my repertoire of products that I would introduce to my clients all those years. So when a company came along that had all the right components, they had they had good ethics, the attitudes of the owners, they had a healing story to tell, all those wonderful components, and where the materials were grown from the seed in the ground all the way up to the final product. So I had learned through the years that in order to evaluate a supplement, you have to look at all those factors because they all play a role in how effective the product is. So Yeah, this is the actually third company I've ever done this with, and it's because of the technology that was so unique. I was familiar with the botanicals that were in the formulations, and so and how much of a person Sergey, the president, is, and how generous and warm-hearted. First time I ever shook his hand and looked into his eyes, I knew he was a great person. You can just tell you have this great feeling about someone. So I just decided to just put together the book for the associates because I knew that if people didn't understand what they had, if they didn't understand the technology and all that goes into a quality product like the APL drops, then it was like I had the knowledge, and I was compelled to share this with all the associates and their clients, and if there's medical people out there and their patients, because they're not given the training in their training. So yeah, this is I think it's important to make sure that you know what you have and be knowledgeable about it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. That's totally true from all of our perspectives. If you know something is working and something is amazing, you just feel compelled to share it. I completely agree. My story with Relax is that was the very first drop that I tried. And I always think it was so funny. I was having trouble falling asleep, and I was driving my husband crazy. And he said to me, "Look, this just came in the mail from Tina and Kelly. Just give it a try." And he shoved it in my mouth, and I thought, this isn't going to do anything. And I woke up about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later, wiping drool off my face. So apparently it was, but you get to see Relax from a different perspective. You're looking at it from the knowledge base. What do you think is the baseline benefit? If you're going to describe RLX, Relax, what do you think the base benefit is, and then what do you think the other benefits, the side benefits are?
Okay, great. Yeah, basically from analyzing all of these different botanicals, they all have one thing in common. I mean, these botanicals are so pan-systemic, they act on so many different body systems, but these particular ones have been studied for their nervous system nourishing properties, all these wonderful biochemicals that are in these plants, and there's many, many of them, and they all act in synergy in the body to just relax the nervous system so that the neurons fire correctly, they're not misfiring, and they're not creating stress. And so they don't really have a sedative effect, so they just kind of calm people down so they can think and relax and function, right? Because when you're under stress, your hormones are just, all these stress hormones are flooding the system, and the nervous system is overreacting. And so it's really hard to just settle down and get something done, to focus and make the brain function normally. So these things have to work together. And so I noticed that that's what a lot of these botanicals have in them. They have those biochemical properties that work on nourishing the nervous system to make sure it's functioning right.
Yeah, I did notice what you said seemed to be true. It seems to slow me down so that I can think a thought, focus on one thing, and then kind of fall asleep. It's interesting, like falling asleep is part of it, but it seems to help me focus or think better. Is there a particular organ or body system that it works on?
Yeah, I mean, it works on the immune system, because if your immune system isn't functioning, that sends a lot of signals to the nervous system that something is wrong, and there's different ways that'll manifest in the form of what you're feeling. You might be feeling pain or a headache, or feeling nauseated, or something that the immune system is having trouble with. So it also has a lot of phytochemicals that help the immune system function better. So yeah, it works on the immune system, it works on the nervous system, and it helps to help your body create the right hormones to counter a lot of the stress hormones that your body might be producing. So stress hormones are not just when you're under stress, mental, emotional stress. It's also if something is going wrong in the body. So your body's producing all these inflammatory proteins, and it's causing you to feel, on edge or in pain, or just not being able to think and function normally. I don't know if a lot of people understand what it feels like to be optimally healthful. I don't know if a lot of people have ever even experienced that. So these drops go a long way toward helping to nourish those systems.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you're in pain, it seems impossible to make a decision or think clearly. So what you're saying is absolutely, I hear it so loudly. What would you say is the time frame that somebody is going to notice a benefit?
Yeah, the body is funny that way. Sometimes you'll notice the benefits right away, and sometimes it'll take time, depending on the priority that the body has. Sometimes it's really busy doing something else and fixing something else and using those nutrients to fix that something else rather than what you're focused on and hoping it will do for you. So, it varies on how well nourished you are, how well rested you are, how well hydrated you are, whether you're exercising or not, and whether you're managing your stress or not, reacting to stress in a way that hurts you, and makes you feel terrible, or trying to logically and calmly work through it and, try to interact and communicate, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of factors in play that come to fruition as to how it's working in your body.
What are the standout ingredients when you're looking at RLX that really grab you and say, that's the ingredient? You and I had a conversation a while back on another product, and I remember you brought out an ingredient to all of us that we were not familiar with and that we were excited about. So in Relax, what would you say is a standout?
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, so the ashwagandha root, I know I've spoken about that before, but it really has been shown to strengthen the immune system and work with the nervous system and the hormonal system so that you are decreasing your sensitivity to stress, and also to improve the nervous system to the point where you have better cognitive functioning. So everything you're perceiving in your life, it does not have to have such a negative impact on you. So it's all about how you perceive things, and it has to do with a lot of your biochemistry and how the body's working. So I really like the ashwagandha for that. But the banana, I have to say, there's more research on our wonderful, simple banana that we get from the grocery store all the time that really calms the nervous system without sedating, a person, and the phytochemical compounds in it help improve moods. So they affect the endocrine glands and the kinds of hormones your body produces, and also protects the nerve cells, right? So your nerve cells have to have a certain physiology. You have to have a fatty acid coating on the nerve cells, so you have to eat the right kinds of fats and a lot of the, the vitamins and minerals in the diet, and these wonderful phytochemical compounds that are abundant in the drops to also protect the nerve cells so that you can handle stress better, both physical and mental and emotional kind of thing. But, it's really hard for me to pick just one, Julia.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting the banana. I can
right.
You surprise me every time I hear you talk. And it's a banana. I thought you were going to say passion flower, something like that. That's really cool. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was doing the research, and I came across a phrase in the scientific literature that said it's known as the happy fruit. So, it puts you in a real happy mood. So I don't know. I've tried that. I thought, okay, I'm not having the best of days. I'll have a banana and see what happens, right? And I don't end up having a bad day. I forget about it. But then looking back, I'm thinking, well, I remember having a worse time of it. Things must have resolved itself, or maybe it did have a physiological effect in my system. So yeah, I just try that drop and see what happens.
I love that advice. That's awesome. Now, if you were going to put a couple different drops together, maybe for sleep or for anxiety or for pain, which drops would you combine with RLX and recommend?
Okay, another hard one. I always go to the MLS or, the BRN or the BTY because they have the most phytochemicals in all the different botanicals in the formulations, right? So the more, the better, because your body will, out of the multiple trillions of cells that we have, your body's going to definitely find a use for all of these wonderful compounds that are so compatible with the human body. So I don't know. That's another hard one. I always go to the MLS because that's I think that's the most popular one, and I can understand why.
It's funny. I actually like ice with Relax. I do take Beauty with Relax. It's like Sleeping Beauty. But I like ice with Relax, and I don't really know why, but when you said immunity, ice is immunity also. And I remember you talking about that before. And then Relax, it's interesting. interesting. I would have not thought that, but I really like the two of those together at bedtime. So that's interesting too. So I never thought of
Yeah.
that. It's a great idea.
Well, yeah, that one in particular will help the digestive system too. And so you won't have any gastric upsets while you're trying to sleep, kind of thing. So yeah, those are good combination.
I like that. So Relax, RLX versus an over-the-counter product. What would be the over-the-counter kind of comparable product to this?
You know, this is really frustrating because over the years, when I've had clients with digestive issues, it's because they did not have enough hydrochloric acid or enzymes in their stomach and their digestive system to break down those huge molecules, dense molecules of foods, especially the proteins and the fats. You know, those are the hardest to digest. And so we need certain enzymes to digest that. And the stomach has to secrete enough hydrochloric acid to break that down in order for you to reduce it to the basic components like the glucose molecule and the amino acids. You know, all those things are utilized in the body at the cellular level. So we have to eat food and digest it to that point. Otherwise, we won't be able to utilize the nutrients. So yeah, that's really important to be able to do that.
So would a comparable product for Relax be something for sleep or something for digestion, something for immunity? What do you think would be the comparable product, like over the counter?
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So people have with these problems, sometimes they're eating a lot of the calcium carbonate tablets, like the Tums, you know, and all these other so-called digestive aids. What they really need are digestive enzymes. So whenever my clients had that problem, I would put them on digestive enzymes rather than eating the Tums, because the Tums neutralizes the stomach acid. And even though it's a great source of calcium, it still just does not allow this normal production of hydrochloric acid and enzymes secreted into the stomach to digest the foods. So that's what I would definitely not recommend something like that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I was using RLX in place of an over-the-counter sleep aid. Before I knew anything about APLGO, I was using something over the counter to help me to fall asleep. And now I've noticed that this helps me to fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. And then in the morning when I wake up, I just feel so refreshed and ready to go and so clear, so mentally clear in the morning.
Yes, when you get enough rest and your body has had a chance to regenerate a lot of its cells, including the brain cells and the nervous system, it does require some great relaxation and the deep sleep cycles in order to help your body regenerate all of that system so that you're fresher in the morning. Definitely.
How often do you think people should use it? Is this something you would recommend as an occasional or a daily? And when during the day, and who should use it? So who, when, and what?
Well, you know, as you see, the botanicals are all foods. You know, they're the medicines, or let medicine be your food and food be your medicine kind of thing. Foods should be a way for our bodies to relax us and to allow our bodies to deal with whatever it needs to deal with inside of us. You know, we need to constantly regenerate and repair and replicate our cells properly so that our DNA is transcribed into the new forming cells. So our body's always turning over new cells, and depending on which body system. So sometimes it's a day or two, sometimes it's a week or so, and sometimes it could be as much as 3 months, like the bone cells kind of thing. So we need all this turnover all the time. So you know, this is something that we need to truly just not be afraid to take any of these drops. These are food. The most potent and most nutrient dense foods that we can take. We have the DNA of the plants, and we have the mitochondria, the energy producing factories in the plants, and all of these other protein manufacturing sites, and these sites that help the body, help our own DNA, which it does it on its own, but with the help of the plant DNA and all of the other plant cell components, our cells can do that turnover rate much more efficiently and effectively, because we are so the body understands these molecules. It's completely compatible with the body.
Wow. Would you recommend using RLX every day?
Well, if you're under a lot of stress, you know, and you're constantly working 24/7 and you're having trouble sleeping, It's not going to make you addicted at all, kind of thing. It's like having the whole food. Only this time you're having the DNA right away. You don't have to wait to digest the food to get to those plant cell components that are in these plant foods. So yeah, I mean, there's just like I said, so compatible. And if you feel like you want to take it every day, of course, then by all means do that. I mean, you've got to be well nourished too, right? And manage your stress and make sure that you're just managing your life so that you are optimally healthful as you can possibly be. And so if you do all that, then you may not need to, use that as either a psychological or, a crutch, or just something that you like feeling. You like just calming down in the evening. I mean, some people have a hot cup of tea in the evening before they go to bed. It's not much different.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's true. It's true. Well, now I'm going to ask you a question, because the last time we did speak, this came up about the product we were talking about then, and I can't help but ask about this. Are there any quantum benefits, or what's the quantum physics side of this product or all of our products?
I love that everyone's awakening to the fact that we are 97% light frequency, light energy. And so when we eat enzyme active viable foods like what's in the drops, because of the negatively charged ions that are added to the already viable and active plant material components in the drops. So these are just like eating as far as energy goes down at the quantum level, like you said. It's like eating a raw, fresh fruit, because those enzymes are there, and the light energy frequencies are circulating around the atomic structures at the atomic level, and even at the subquantum level, where energy is constantly going in and out. It's just it never dissipates. Energy is something that does not ever stop. It's always going from one form to another. And so, so at the quantum energy level, we are actually charging our biological battery packs, known as our cells, the units of life. So everything is made out of these cells, and there's different kinds of cells that look differently in the body, but they all need that extra light energy frequency. I know in physics, I've come across literature that said that people who are healthy vibrate at a higher frequency of 62 megahertz or higher. And people who are in the disease process or ill, they will, their cells are only, they're very diminished in this light energy frequency, and they measure somewhere around 52 megahertz. So it's really interesting how that exists in us.
I feel like I could listen to you talk about that forever. I started, wow.
Yeah, it's wow.
It is really exciting. And I'm looking at the chat, and everyone else is excited about this. It's just so amazing. So I'm going to ask you a question. This is not on this topic, but it just made me, when you mentioned 62 megahertz, right? 62 megahertz. I once learned that lemons have the highest energy frequency of foods or something like that. Is that really, do you know anything about that? Or like the different foods having different energy frequencies? Or?
Well, years ago, I don't know about lemon. I wouldn't doubt it. But years ago, Alfred Pops, he's a German scientist, and he's done a lot of work on the energy frequencies of the body. And he still is doing a lot of work in this area. And so I learned from him that we definitely are vibrating at higher frequencies, and we need the light energy frequencies to be absorbed from the sunlight and in our foods that have absorbed that same sunlight. So plants store this sunlight either in the form of energy, light energy, or they store it in the form of carbohydrates and fatty acids, amino acids. They form vitamins from the sun as well through photosynthesis, and the minerals that they take up from the soil, if the soil is indeed mineral rich, then those minerals are negatively charged as well. So we have these active plants that will contribute to our own light energy frequency and our own wellness.
That is so exciting. I hope everyone was writing all that down for me. I'll be listening again. That was very, very, very exciting. Do you have any last thoughts on RLX specifically as a product that we're using, as something that we specifically should be talking about with our friends and with our connections, about how RLX is going to benefit them?
Yes, I think that it's only logical to deduce that the light energy frequencies that exist in the drops are going to elevate people to the higher frequencies associated with wellness, not just physical wellness, but mental, emotional, psychological wellness. And so through the years, I have found that when clients apply, 50 to 75% of their diet in the form of raw fruits and vegetables or something that's enzyme active and light energy active, like the drops, then they completely transform their lives. If they are sick or, not doing well in life, and they have a lot of problems with interactions with people in their lives, I find that, and this is almost predictable, that they change their lives and they improve their relationships. And some relationships have ended if they have seen that they are very bad for them, so they go on to live on better lives because of it. So yeah, it's amazing how differently one perceives things, and one manages their life when they are in these higher frequencies.
I can completely understand what you're saying. I guess hearing you say it is so impactful for all of us, because when you're sharing this with someone, you're sharing it from a place of love and support and help, but you don't always think about all of the ways that it can manifest in their lives and how it can change their lives. So thank you for putting that into words for us. That was so beautiful. And we are all so very grateful for you being here. I did notice that a couple people may I ask a couple of questions that were a little off topic and
or please, not off topic, I encourage it. That's the best part.
Okay, great, excellent.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you put stop, STP, stop pain, with slide, SLD, and RLX together, the three of those together, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. What is the benefit of those three together?
Okay, great. Yeah, the synergy, that's why I call my food system that I developed years ago nutritional synergy, because when you have a combination of different botanicals that act on the nervous system and the immune system to help people just relax and deal with life from a much more calm, rational, cognitive perspective rather than a reactive kind of thing. Sorry, I've got to turn off my phone here. Sorry. So when you put these three together, there's I don't know, just probably 100 different phytochemical compounds that are acting to nourish all these different systems that actually work together. The nervous system and the hormonal system and the immune system are particularly good at keeping the body in homeostasis, in biochemical balance, so that you can react better to things in your life. And when you're in this state, you're also retaining information better. You have more mind clarity, and you make better life decisions. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, because when you're in that higher frequency, then the body's in much better biochemical balance.
Wow, that was great. People are also asking about the combination of relax and brain together.
Yeah, okay, so BRN works particularly on the nervous system. So just when you have nourished cells in your body, when you're giving your body the right molecules, I always go back to the word molecules. It sounds so fundamental and elementary, but that's basically what we are. We're made out of molecules, and you can go deeper and go into the atoms and the quantum physics of it all. But at this level, you can observe the effects of what's happening in your cells at the molecular level. And so when you put these two together, then you know that you're absolutely nourishing that nervous system, so it'll function better. And of course, it's not just acting on the nervous system. All these different compounds, like I said earlier, this pansystemic, they work on the entire system. They'll detoxify, they'll bind to toxic synthetic chemicals and help your body eliminate them through the 5 eliminative organs: the skin, the bowels, the lymph nodes, the lungs, and the kidneys. So all these different eliminative organs will help get rid of these synthetic toxins that we're constantly being exposed to. And that once you when you cleanse the body, you don't want to do it drastically. You want to do it gradually. So a healthful diet is very, very important. The drops are wonderful, but they can't do it all, right? We do need a healthy diet. We do need exercise. We do need to get out in the sunlight for a few minutes, at least 3 or 4 times a week. Even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, our cells need to be exposed to sunlight to help that detox process and to help all the different functions that the body needs to do. Like I said, physicists, when they go into the quantum energy level, and beyond, smaller than that, the quarks and I don't know, the rest of it. I don't know that's just the extent of my knowledge about physics so far. But we are not light energy beings, and we need to operate at the higher level of frequencies. That's just a more and more information like that is coming out now to the public, and you will start seeing more and more about the light energy frequencies that we are composed of.
That is so exciting. I cannot wait. And I know you're going to let us know more and more as you find it out. That's exciting. So,
oh, you bet.
Yes. So the last question that I'm seeing, or that's making me think of this, is that you've talked about immunity, making good decisions, energy, and going out and doing exercise, all of this, and then reducing stress and hormones. And I cannot help but think this would have some impact on people's weight.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're allowing your cells, now that you've cleansed them out, don't do it drastically. Like I said, it's a gradual process. It's taken years to accumulate all that junk in the body, and it's going to take a while to detoxify it. So, and I hesitate to use the word detoxify. I don't want anyone to go out there and try to find a severe detox program, because that's just going to dump a lot of the toxic chemicals in your system, and you're going to feel sick, and you're going to have a lot of these side effects, these terrible reactions. Okay, so with a healthy diet and going outside in the sunlight and improving your circulatory system, because like I said, it'll elevate your vibrational frequency, so your blood will course through your veins a lot faster, right? Just sitting out in the sun improves your circulatory system, and then your body produces the different hormones and the precursors to different hormones like vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, if you see that in supplements. So once you put all of these, you subject your body to the outdoors and you improve your circulatory system, it's going to eliminate a lot of the toxins a lot more efficiently, along with your naturally detoxifying foods and supplements like the drops.
Wow, makes me want to take Relax all the time. This is so exciting. I'm thrilled. Thank you very much, so much, for sharing all of this with us tonight. This is so eye-opening and so helpful. I just didn't know all of these things about this product, and I didn't know that the banana was the happy fruit, but I'm really excited to know. That's very exciting. Thank you so much. I know that we're going to have a couple more questions. Let me just take a quick scan and see if there's something that we can check on before we close the recording.
I'd like to add something about the ginseng that's in the RLX.
Okay.
Because again, it's great for helping to prevent mental and physical fatigue, because of its actions on how it helps the function of the body. So, but also a lot of studies have indicated that it improves the brain activity. So like I talked about earlier, cognition, improving ability to focus, improving alertness. I mean, you can be relaxed and calm, yet be mentally alert. And that's the best state to be in. You can get so much done that way, right? And so, but these plants also have so many different other effects on all the other body systems. And they don't just protect the nervous system, but they also, they're anti-inflammatory, and they just act on helping the blood have more of oxygen and all the other nutrients that are flowing in the bloodstream to combat weakness and fatigue, so that you are able to perform physically even during high intensity exercise. You have more endurance that way. So it just helps oxygenate the system so that you can deliver more work, more physical work. So yeah, I mean, I only touch the surface of the surface, like 1% of the 1%, because these botanicals really do a lot more.
Well, can I ask you about passion flower? What exactly is that, and what does it do?
Oh yeah, that's the best one for putting you in a good mood and for really relaxing you. it has a very calming and soothing effect on the nervous system. It's such a beautiful flower. It's just breathtaking, and the purple, as you have seen in the book. But yeah, I mean, it's great for insomnia, anxiety, and even epilepsy. So it's been applied in a lot of scientific studies to show its effect on calming down epilepsy. So it just demonstrates just in those studies that it really acts to calm the nervous system down, but not sedate you, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's got so many different phytochemical compounds that help lower blood sugar and, help regulate blood sugar. So, I mean, it's been used for, has been tested against all these different very serious health conditions too. Well, it'll kill parasites, for instance, and there's a lot of diseases associated with what parasites cause in the body. And so it'll regulate, if you have loose bowels, it'll help you regulate menopausal symptoms, infant colic, So, I mean, they have so many different compounds and so many different effects on the body that, like I said, I only touched on the very surface of why these botanicals were chosen for this formula.
Yeah, there's one more, lettuce. I'm very confused. Lettuce and banana, and it just seems so funny to me. It just seems funny. I don't understand, because I don't know what you know. So why lettuce?
I was surprised too, Julia. I really was. I thought, lettuce, what? Because I thought, well, it's lightly colored, and it's not like the dark green leafies that we all know are so good for us, but it had the lighter, less chlorophyll in it. And I thought, well, it can't be that much of a superfood at all. But yeah, lo and behold, there's a lot of studies done on lettuce, anti-inflammatory, cholesterol lowering. It contains a lot of these xanthophylls carotenoids. Carotenoids are this huge classification of different types of phytochemicals, like the luteins and xanthophylls and all these other different things. But it's been tested against all kinds, both in laboratory, like the petri dishes, where they have like different diseased cells in these petri dishes, and they apply, the lettuce juice or whatever they used, extracts or whatever, the phytochemicals in the lettuce, and they have been shown to destroy a lot of these illness-causing, microorganisms or mutated cells, kind of thing, anti-inflammatory, So, I mean, it's really been tested both in the laboratory and in people, of course. A lot of studies have done clinical trials on actual human beings, and even animal studies, of course, because a lot of animals are fed this kind of thing. But yeah, it just it has so many great things that it'll help the body produce the right hormones so that you don't have things like neurotube defects in the developing fetus during pregnancies. I mean, it just the diversity, of all of these different formula, all these different studies is just amazing, and that's just lettuce.
I know.
So yeah,
I think it's lettuce is so funny. We think of lettuce as healthy food. That's what we think, but it really is more healthy than I would have ever imagined, especially what you just told me. So the last question that I did just get from someone was about chamomile. My experience with chamomile was always that it was for tea and that you would drink it at bedtime, but that it looks a little bit like a daisy. And I don't know if it really does or not, but that's what I think it does. And that it helps you to fall asleep. Is that the main purpose of chamomile, or does it do other things too?
Oh, it does so many other things. I used to grow both types of chamomile. There's the German and the Roman chamomile, but in the drops we have the German chamomile flower. And yeah, they're little tiny daisy-like things, and they smell so good. They smell like apple. So when you make a tea out of it, it just smells so good. And it's so soothing for the stomach, and it should be, I think, I don't know if it's in the ice or not. I don't remember, but anyway, yeah,
if you're right, it is an ice.
I thought it should, yeah. So it does have a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. It's even used for colds because it aids the immune system, and it cleanses the liver, the bladder, and the kidneys. It aids digestion, which is why it's given to infants for colic. It helps regulate, balance the menstrual cycle. It's not just for men, though. I mean, not just for women. It's also, for anyone who has like gastric ulcers or gallstones. It'll help dissolve gallstones. It's been found. All of this is all these are everything that I assert on these videos are the result of all these scientific studies, that I put into the book. So you can know for sure that I'm not making any medical claims or assertions about this, because we never do that. But yeah, I mean, if it's a fine line, right? When you're nourishing your cells, your body's going to function better, and so it will balance itself and improve its functioning overall. And so, but yet at the same time, we don't own certain terms that the medical industry doesn't like us to use, because we're kind of a competition for that, So anyway, yeah, so it does so many things. It does so many things. It'll stop bleeding. It's an antiseptic, and it's a pain reliever, antispasmodic. If you've got cramps or something, drink some tea and it'll help relax your muscles. It induces perspiration if you have a fever. It stimulates bile discharge from the liver when you're digesting fats. Just used overall for the population as for general anxiety, like a mild sedative kind of thing, but yet you stay alert enough. I mean, if you're tired and your body needs to regenerate itself, you're going to feel sleepy. And so if you take chamomile and it relaxes your nervous system, that just aids the inevitable sleep process, right? So, but if you're awake and you're active and everything, and you're under stress, and you take some chamomile or the RLX drop, it's going to put you in a much better place where you can actually function a lot better.
I really didn't know that. And every time I would see chamomile tea when I was out or read that, I thought, oh, that's the sleep aid in it. So I didn't realize all of the benefits that you just pointed out from chamomile. That's beautiful. Aside from the fact I didn't even know it smelled like apple. Now I want to plant some in my backyard. It sounds wonderful.
Well, yeah, and the pollinators come around and pollinate it too. It's really beautiful.
And now when I'm reading the other products and I'm reading the ingredients in the other products, it just gives me so much more enthusiasm for those other things. That's just like MLS has chamomile in it and ice, like you said. So it's very exciting. I love these calls because we get to hear so much about one product that helps us with all of the others as well. So it's very exciting. I'm thrilled. I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize the fact that I'm only skimming the surface on what these botanicals will do in the body. So when you're taking these drops in, it's doing so much more than you realize. It's not just only making you feel relaxed and more alert, and able to handle your stress. But yeah, they do so much more. Like I just read just a few other things in the chamomile. But yeah, if you'd like to purchase the book, you can go to my website, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. It has 109 botanicals in that book. It has all the botanicals that are in the drops, and it also has even other botanicals too. But the plant kingdom has different phytochemical compounds in it, but a lot of them have similar phytochemicals in them too. So they're going to act in similar ways. So if you go out there and you see someone or some company, some irresponsible company touting, their supplements, and it only contains one extract of one plant, and it's the be all and end all, they're just trying to market that to you and sell that to you, it's going to only do so much. So the more whole food compounds you have, like the drops, like in the whole food diet, not just junk food that's been processed. A lot of the nutrients have been taken out. So you want to have these whole food complexes in your body, so your body chooses from this vast array of different nutrients to do the job. We have multiple trillions of cells in our bodies, and they're constantly being renewed. So we need constant nutrition. Every 4-5 hours, 6 hours at the most, we need to replenish our stores, especially if you're exercising or if you do physical labor. Even if you're going for a walk, even if you're getting on the exercise cycle for 10 minutes a day, you still need to replenish what you use. So it's a balancing effect. And people who are trying to lose weight, it's a matter of shifting your body composition from doing the exercises that will burn body fat, but doing the exercises that will build and maintain your lean muscle mass. And not just muscle, our whole body is made out of protein. So when we eat and we utilize the amino acids after breaking the protein foods down, our cells are composed of protein. All the enzymes the body makes those are proteins. All of the 10,000 hormones the body makes are proteins. So all the tissues are made out of protein. So we need proteins in our diet. I don't advocate veganism because they always come up with B12 deficiencies. They become anemic and all that kind of thing. So, you know, we need some animal-derived foods as well in the diet. So it's all about balance and quality nutrition, nutritional density. So I can't emphasize that enough. So when you're taking in these drops, just know that you're taking in so much more than what we've talked about in any of these Zoom calls. There's never enough time to do that. That's why on my YouTube channel, I decided to take 10 of these botanicals that are in the book and really do a deep dive and really explain in depth what each botanical does. So if you go to my YouTube channel, just type in Mary Esther Gilbert at the YouTube search box, and my channel will come up. And there's so many different nutritional educational videos there. But also when someone asks me a question, or if I have a thought thinking, I need to talk about this, I need to teach about this, I'll produce a video for it. But right now, I've done about 3 botanicals in the book so far, and I want to do more because people really need to know what these botanicals do that are in these products.
As someone who loves sharing the drops every single day and talking about them and helping others, your words are gold. And having your book on hand, both of your books actually is what I have, having your books on hand makes my life so much easier. So for everyone who's listening, I can highly recommend stopping what you're doing. You need a resource like this. Yes, definitely go to YouTube and watch this information because you can share it quickly. But when you read and study Mary Esther's book and you really have them in your hot little hand and you're holding the book, it just gives you so much credibility and so much understanding that you can't get any other way. And that sharing makes it so much easier for people. I highly recommend getting the book and using the book as much as you can, and being able to also contact Mary Esther through other means and ask questions or write them down and submit them for the monthly talks that we have here, because you're going to get so much more information of it. So highly recommend your books. And I highly recommend going and visiting your YouTube channel where we can get even more information. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. I know we're over time. I'm so grateful to you for this Zoom. And thank you so much. We've learned a vast amount of information about RLX and all of our other products too. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening.
Okay.
It's my honor. I really love doing this for everyone. I wrote that book for you, all of you, so you can be more credible and more confident in sharing these amazing products. So thank you so much for coming, for being here. I see so many familiar faces. Hi, everybody.
I'm going to go